Welcome all traders to their daily look ahead. This is where we take a look at gold, the dollar, and the mini NASDAQ to find out what types of trades we can take the following day. But before we dive into the charts, make sure to like and subscribe so that more people can enjoy this content. Hello traders, this is the outlook for March 28, 2025. And we're going to start here with gold. So I got gold completely wrong. Last night. It did not break to the downside like I thought it was going to do and sell off, but it broke again to the upside. So here's what's happening. So we have a lot of uncertainty because of the tariffs. Now we're having tariffs on the cars from Europe and Canada. There is a lot of uncertainty dealing with tariffs. So every time we have a tariff threat, let's call it that, we see gold head up and we see dollar head down. And so it's kind of an inverse effect we're having there dealing with tariffs. And so where do we go from here? Well, we have this extension that has completed here, or almost completed. So I would now be looking for gold to start making its way back down to this support zone resistance of 3054. So we would probably go up just a little bit more here, maybe up into the neighborhood of about 3089. And then I would look for a pullback to 3055 is how I would be trading gold coming tomorrow. Here's the second one I got wrong, and that was dollar. So I was expecting dollar to pull back some and then head on up, but it pulled back significantly, even breaking the channel and coming back into it, okay? So where do I believe dollar is heading to now? I think dollar will start to move back up. And so what I'm looking for now is this to happen. So we're back down at the bottom of the channel. I expect now a move up in dollar. Again, what we're going to be looking for down on the smaller time frames is we're going to be looking for higher highs and higher lows. If we begin to get that, then we're going to engage in the reversal of dollar to the upside. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we're going to be heading up probably to the neighborhood of 104.88, somewhere in there, unless we break to the downside. We know what we do if we break to the downside. We break, we pull back, and then we engage the trade to the downside. We just have to wait for that to happen. We have to wait for the retest to happen, and then take the opportunity to go short at a specified place near the channel, which allows us to keep our risk down to a low percentage. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking for to see if that happens. Right now, dollar is not telling us anything. We have not, we did make in the candle structure, we did make a higher high. So here, for example, this was a high here, this was a low here, and now we've made a higher high here, and we consecutively make higher lows. We need to see if we produce another higher high back down and then back up to know if this is beginning to reverse, okay? So that's what we'd be looking for reverse. So if we took a trade here, we would put our stop just below this candle right here, okay? But that's what we're looking for, dollar, for a reversal to the upside. We'll see if that happens. If not, and it breaks, this would be the trade here, the green line, okay? So here we have the mini NASDAQ. That did work out well, so it did match what we thought it would do. It went up, came back down, hit channel, went back up again, but now it's failing. So it's gone up, down, it's breaking channel. We see the retest. So now's the opportunity to get short for the swing down. And we're looking for a swing down, first one about 19,887, okay? So if this continues to break, this is a major change in the NASDAQ. I know this is the mini, but it also applies to the NASDAQ itself. This would be a major change starting to happen. So if we pull this out up on the 4-hour chart, this, if it breaks, now this becomes a pullback to go lower. So we're watching that very carefully here. And what are we looking for? We're looking for breaks in certain support and previous resistance zones. So here's a support zone. We're looking to see if that breaks. Now, it may come down and then head back up like this, and then come back down and break this zone, okay? But what we're looking for is a break of this support zone right here. So when that breaks, then the whole structure begins to change, and the next break we're looking for is this low right here. And if we break that low, we then begin to get closer and closer to entering into a bear market. That means that this whole move would be swinging to a new low for the year, okay? So we're watching that and seeing how this pullback on the smaller time frames is going to pan out here. If it's going to hold or if it's going to rise back above. If it rises back above, then we know that we would be heading to this top zone up here, okay? And that's the top of the channel right up here. It's where we'd be heading to, okay? So we're watching very carefully, but so far it looks like it's beginning to break this channel. And if it continues to drop down, that's going to be at least a short down to the 19632 zone, and probably a bounce back up to where it's at now or a little higher, and then a continuation to the downside, breaking this 19632 zone and moving further to the downside. Okay, so keep your eyes out for that to set up and be a trade to the short side for today. We had the Dow heading down, and it did pull back almost perfectly to where we had it pulling back and did move down. It has not hit the bottom of the channel, so what I'm looking for now is I'm just looking for another pullback here, and then I'm looking for a move down, okay? And so I'm expecting Dow to get down to 42,042.4. So that's the target there after pullback is completed. So looking for that move to the downside on the Dow. Bitcoin, we also had correct. So Bitcoin is rolling over and it's moving to the downside. Expect us to reach our target now, which is 85,359. Okay. So we bounced around here and then we're breaking this evening. We're breaking to the downside. Expect that to continue down to that number, 85,359. Now, when it gets down there, that's going to be a very important zone, okay? So if we squeeze Bitcoin up here, we'll go to the dailies. What we're witnessing here, let's pull this back a little bit, is we're witnessing Bitcoin making lower highs. So we see the high here. We see a low here. We see another high here. We see a lower low here. We see another high here and another low here. And we're expecting to reach a high somewhere in here and produce a lower low here. Now, the reason we say that is because we have a support zone setting right over here, a pretty good size one. And right there is the support zone. You can mark the resistance as well, which is right here, okay? So you have that right down here. It could pop and then come down and hit at that point. So you might have a formation or a move, something like this, where this begins to drop. Then you got a pop, and then you have a drop and a completion of the move right there. So that's what we're looking for right now. And if we come in here and we shore this up, we can take a channel and we can lay it on top right here, pull it up to here, pull it down, and we can watch this zone right here, okay? So what we're watching for is a break of the channel, okay? So we've come down with here, we've touched the channel. If this begins to head to the downside, there is a high likelihood that it will break this channel, come down, retest, and move to the next level. So watch that very carefully. So as you're down here in the 1 hour chart, you're going to be watching to see if this breaks the range right here. So here's the range right here. And you're going to be watching to see if that range breaks at this channel. And if it breaks, it's going to go further down. So that's really what you're watching for on Bitcoin. And I believe there's a good chance that this will head down and break. Now, it's going to bounce again here. So you're going to get something like this. It's going to come down. It's going to bounce again. And then probably roll over or do something like this. And then roll over, retest, and then come down. Okay. It's probably how that's going to end up. Okay. So watch for that to happen. But yes, you could short it here, maybe go long here, and then go short again at the top. I prefer just going short at highs. That way it keeps me safe in the trade. If you have any questions, feel free to message at the bottom of this video. I'll try to get back with you. As well as if you want to come and check us out for free, there's a link right in the description where you can come and sign up and participate with us and get more understanding of how to trade and how to track these moves and prepare for them. You know, we're looking ahead, but when we're in the trade and we're watching things, we make decisions based upon what the market is telling us, not what our bias is, but based upon what the market is telling us. So if I may have an outlook one way the night before, but I come in the next day and the market is telling me something different, I easily transition to trade what the market's telling me to trade. And that's very important. So I don't really have a strong bias just as to what the market says to me at the time I'm looking at it. And then I go ahead and set up a trade using the proper risk, using all the strategies I understand and know to make that trade and make it as successful as possible. So if you'd like to learn how to do that, go ahead and click the link below in the description. Come and join us. Be happy to have you there. Take care now, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Or actually, we'll talk to you on Saturday with the weekly look ahead, and then we'll talk again on Monday. See you later now. Bye.